Radio Free Skaro!
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Radio Free Skaro, episode number 913. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
This is happy Canada Day for those of us listening in on this recording on July 1st, which is the three of us, because it's coming out on July 2nd, which point Canada Day will be over. But happy impending 4th of July. Independence Day, the day, not the movie, coming up on Tuesday, which means everyone in America is taking a 4-day weekend. So well done, all of you. Making 4 or 5 day weekends out of holidays is what America does best. I find
Grilling and fireworks. That'll be that. And if the only time I've been in the States is when I was in Sacramento. Well, all three of us were.
That's right.
For WesterCon, and there was a blackout. So because of all of them grilling and fireworks.
That's right. I remember that. We did that was like half an hour after we did a live commentary of Silver Nemesis.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
At WesterCon.
Silver Nemesis was to blame. Clearly,
Was it that night or the night after? I can't recall.
It was.
I don't remember.
It was the same night, I think. Pretty
It
sure.
didn't happen until like 10 or 11 p.m.
Yeah, it didn't happen until late, but I was in America for Convergence one year too. I can't remember what year that was. 2019, I want to say, and like I was downtown Minneapolis, and like the fireworks were going on for like literally 2 hours straight. I think this is obsessive. This is too much. 2 hours, literally 2 hours. And I was like, this is why your country's in debt. You spend too much money on fireworks.
that is not why the country. They spend money on other kinds of fireworks for 20 years in the Middle East. That's why the country's in debt.
That's also very, very true. Anyway, happy celebrating births of nations at the expense of other nations in this day in history. This episode is the last Timelash. Until we bring it back in 2 years' time when there's another gap year or something like that. We need something to fill time. Timelash, of course, is where we look back at this week in history. We did it for 2 years. We did it once through from a website that just listed broadcast dates, and we talked about things. Oh, remember what broadcast on this day? And then we found another one on the brief history of time travel that Shannon Patrick Sullivan puts together, and he has a much more in-depth list of events that occurred behind the scenes, but now we've done a full year of that, and we'll just be repeating ourselves, so even more so than usual. And so so this is it. This is the last one. We have no idea what's happening on the show next week. We don't have any time fillers. The week after that, I think I am certainly out on assignment. I think Warren is too, and so we're pre-recording a thing for a couple weeks hence, but we'll more about that later. And then it was going to be San Diego Comic-Con after that, and we'll see what happens there. Yeah, more on that in a bit. We do wrap up Pride Month though in June. Doctor Who did a big article about all the pride and inclusivity that's been in Doctor Who on and off screen throughout the millennia almost, which is kind of a cool rundown actually. And even mentioned Gallifrey 1 from this past year did a panel, which is kind of neat. I as growing up as a sheltered young man as I was in small town Alberta, I never experienced the LGBTQ community until I went to Gallifrey 1. So
same thing.
Yeah, I equate the coolness of the queer community to Doctor Who. Like that is like part and parcel for me. So I like that. I like that Doctor Who celebrated Pride. Because it seems right somehow, you know what I mean? Just seems lockstep with that.
Especially with anti-woke activist RTD in charge again.
Yeah, he's setting it back on a straight and narrow path, isn't he? Yeah.
Finally, proper Doctor Who. It's just incredible how these guys are able to delude themselves.
It's just going to be dudes and trucks posting selfies with their wraparound sunglasses and their backwards hats. Doctor Who, nonstop.
When has that ever been in Doctor Who? Never mind.
Never mind. Nope, it's gonna happen this time around. Love it. Love the energy. Love it. Anyway, I mentioned San Diego Comic-Con. So Doctor Who will have a presence there in the form of a booth on the dealer's floor. San Diego Comic-Con posted a map of the exhibitors hall is what they call it.
Hey kid, you want a Funko Pop?
Yeah, you want a Funko Pop? There's probably Funko Pops there. There's 4 different ones for Bandai Namco, which is an anime thing, you told me, Warren.
And video games too. But yeah, I think it's probably anime, like manga, pardon me. Right. And anime are super, super popular, especially amongst the younger folk. And so that's probably why they're there.
That probably it. There's a thing called Book World. I don't know why people are going to San Diego Comic-Con for books.
Maybe I'll be flying down to San Diego now.
Big thing for Marvel. Big thing for Star Wars. Big thing for Hasbro. Barbie movie coming out that same weekend. And then there's tiny little Doctor Who, and right next to tiny little Disney Plus. ABC, Hulu, and FX, all 4 of those are in their own little tiny square on the floor selling various merchandise.
Where's the Oppenheimer exhibit booth where I can touch the atomic bomb and buy my own little Funko Pop of Robert Oppenheimer?
Right next to the Barbie booth.
Oh, good.
You're just right next to it, yeah.
I am seriously considering doing a double bill, but I think I'd see Oppenheimer first and then Barbie. So all the heaviness of Oppenheimer, I just go to ridiculousness of Barbie.
I don't know. I don't know if I'm seeing either of them, to be honest. But I mean, Ncuti Gatwa's in Barbie, but then again, Peter Capaldi was in that Suicide Squad movie, and I never saw that either. So
here's how much I care if a Doctor Who person is in anything. I don't. I just want to see the movies based objectively on if they're, and both of them are supposed to be quite good. So obviously for very different reasons.
Yeah, I'm mildly surprised at Oppenheimer getting the blockbuster thing, because that feels like a small time movie, but it's Christopher Nolan, so somehow
that's exactly why it's getting the blockbuster treatment.
He'll turn it into a thing or something like that. But I don't know, Chris, you're gonna go see Barbie? You're gonna go see the Barbie with Ncuti Gatwa, starring Ncuti Gatwa as Ken,
and no one else.
No.
Okay.
At least I have no plans to do so.
No.
Maybe I'll watch it on streaming in 5 years. I don't know.
You don't have to wait 5 years. This is what's keeping people away from the theaters to begin with. It's like,
I'm not saying I have to wait 5 years.
No,
you just will end up.
I may choose to wait 5 years.
I see what's going on. Yeah,
I don't know. Watching the trailers, I have more interest in Barbie than I do Oppenheimer.
I have to give the makers of Barbie credit. They've been doing some sterling work with trailers. That 2001 trailer was, if somebody did break it down against the actual 2001 trailer, and it's beautifully done. Like, it's exact.
I don't think I saw that one. Did I? I don't remember if I saw that.
That's the teaser. But they totally nail the Kubrick look and then throw in the Barbie stuff. It's quite well done.
Interesting.
Yeah, there was a TV series called Manhattan a few years ago, and I watched that. And
Manhattan.
So I think I'm good for Manhattan Project stuff for a while.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what you mean. Because yeah, I don't know. We'll find. I don't know. We might actually go see because the COVID numbers have dropped to a point where it's we're no longer as concerned about movie theaters. So we're actually considering going to see their. I don't know if you know this. They made a new Indiana Jones movie, and it's coming out this weekend.
I am seeing it on Monday.
And yeah, it's got Harrison Ford in it and everything. And so we might go see it. And so, because it's fun. It's fun to go. It's fun to see movies in the movie cinema house. This is what I found watching Marvel movies. I don't know if it coincided with the quality of them dropping or anything like that, but like just watching them at home weeks after the fact, just alone, just thinking, this isn't as fun as watching it with an audience, I got to tell you. You know what I mean?
No, it totally is not.
Yeah. Really need to be seen on the big screen. So anyway, movies, Comic-Con, such. This month, I mean, we're not anticipating Doctor Who to be in there because Disney Plus is pretty Disney, Marvel, Netflix, I think, are all off the board. I think Paramount hasn't said one way or the other. Warner Brothers, same thing. Whether or not they'll do panels at Comic-Con, but the schedule comes out July 6th through 9th. They always do this 2 weeks before, which is great advanced timing there, Comic-Con. They will release Thursday's schedule on Thursday the 6th, Friday, and so forth. So each day. So by the time we record next, we might have a better idea whether or not Doctor Who will actually be at Comic-Con. But all signs point to no. if it was a Magic 8 Ball. So yeah, which is too bad. Some brief Star Trek / broadcasting news. All of Star Trek, apart from the current season of Strange New Worlds, is leaving Crave here in Canada between July 24th and the 31st. It's all probably going to Paramount Plus. So I imagine all those deals have expired, but for some reason they still have the first broadcast rights for Strange New Worlds for this current season. I don't know if that's going to be the case with the next season of Discovery.
I would suspect that's probably because it's showing on Spaces, or what the hell Space is called now.
CTV Sci-Fi, Warren,
yeah,
please.
CTV Sci-Fi.
Yeah.
No, I'm going to stick with the old name, which is much better. Anyway, CTV Sci-Fi, probably, you're right. They're probably showing up broadcast. So once that's done, sayonara.
Probably, yeah. So Crave has booted Doctor Who come early January of this year, and now Star Trek. Yeah.
That's why I got rid of it.
Yeah. Boy, what a waste. Anyway.
Yep.
Anyway, so I don't know if no, because it's always been on Paramount Plus in the States, but now it's sort of aligning itself as deals.
Well,
expire.
Until they start writing down more tax deals like they did with Prodigy.
Right? Yeah, I know. Boy, I mean, how much money they're wasting just throwing money, paying royalties to the guy who played that weird co-pilot who replaced Chekhov in the Star Trek animated series. Like that's a ton of money.
That guy rules, by the way.
Sending a ton of money down the wire just to keep that guy employed. They should just axe it.
And the cat lady, don't forget her.
I haven't seen the animated series, so I don't know.
That's great.
Yeah.
As a man who loves the 70s, you might actually like the animated series.
Well, it always looked like, Rocket Robin Hood, let's face it.
Yeah, I fail to see what the problem is here.
That's a good point, yeah.
Also, it's got a jazzy opening number, and also the stories are actually really good. They aren't Saturday morning cartoon stories. They actually got Star Trek writers to write these things, so they snuck another season in under the wire, essentially.
Never liked The Wire either, for what it's worth, but
oh, for God's sakes!
Anyway,
one pleasable wretch.
Yes. So stay tuned. We'll see what happens. There is some merchandise. Titan Entertainment has unveiled a bunch of various merchandise that's coming out at Comic-Con, exclusively at Comic-Con, like little 14th Doctor dolls and enamel pins and stuff like that. So there will be some exclusive merch for those of you going to Comic-Con, hoping to see a big Hall H panel, going through Hotel Mageddon, buying your tickets and everything and expecting to go, and then, no, there's nothing there. So,
well, once you've got your 14th Doctor little doll, you can do your own Hall H panel. You just sit outside of Hall H with your guy asking him questions.
I already do have a 14th Doctor. I have the one where he's looking very unimpressed by everything.
Oh, the actual character options one. Yeah,
the actual character options section, Dolly. Yeah. So anyway, next week we should have a confirmed picture about what's going to be at Comic-Con with regards to Doctor Who. Now, last week, I believe, Chris, that I promised, because you are someone who gets things and then has them sit on the shelf for the longest time.
Which I admire, Chris. I'd like to say that's not a character flaw at all.
Only because I prefer to watch things in like a certain order, like maybe release order.
Right.
That is a character flaw.
Well, you were still allowed to open up packaging, and I chided you because you were on the fence about ordering the North American version of the season 9 Doctor Who box set, the John Pertwee season 3. And you have the UK one because you went to the UK right around when it came out. But the plastic is still on. And I promised listeners, if you hadn't unwrapped the plastic between last episode and this, that we would unwrap it on this audio podcast. And so, yes. Chris, we're doing that right now. Just imagine, folks, we're not doing a video live stream of this, but Chris, have you got the thing?
Neither am I going to record it either.
No.
On video.
No, don't do that. No, that's fine. It's fine. This is theater of the mind, folks. So you have it right now in front of you.
Yeah, apparently.
Okay. All right. Very, very loud, as loudly as you can. Take the plastic off. I want to hear, and then crinkle that plastic in the pot. I don't care. I want to hear it. I want to hear that crinkle. Oh, I hear it. Listen to that. Chris is finally removed The plastic.
It's coming off in pieces.
Oh no! Well, that's Brexit for you.
Nice.
Listen, it's happening. I'm so glad I made you do this, Chris. It's healthy. It's healthy to want to unwrap things.
Crinkle.
There
I don't think either side of this is healthy, frankly.
No,
You're demanding he open it is not healthy either.
How does it feel to have opened that season 9 set?
There we go.
Yeah.
I say confusing because there's this little slip cover which I didn't realize was a
I know
sleeve thing.
Yeah.
Ooh, neat. It's the book.
Yep, a book. Yeah, they have books. They have books in the UK versions. We don't have books in the North American.
Well, no, you don't have books because you are against them.
No, like little booklets.
No, the little insert things written by Pete McTighe.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which they don't even include the PDF version of them, which they should. They included it on the first one, the Tom season 12 one, but they haven't included it on any one since then, and it's bothersome to me. Maybe
my fingers are too big, but it's hard to flip the little lucite disc holder things.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll just interject with the fact that I'm watching the Ashes as we record this, and Stephen Fry was in the crowd watching the Ashes in England. That's cricket, by the way. Doctor Who Stephen Fry. Well done, Chris. Does this cement your decision on not wanting to buy the North American version, or are you going to stick just with this one?
No, it does not, because I still have to make sure it plays back, number one.
Oh.
And number two, if I have to do things for completeness sake, then I'd still have to get the North American one.
Yeah, you do.
Just like you ordered the season 2.
Yep.
Which I have yet to watch.
This whole thing we just did is just a display of both of your madness. Just don't bother with any of this.
Well, we are Doctor Who fans, after all.
It's his madness.
Yeah, it's mine.
That's true. I think, Stephen is coming up on top of the madness.
Absolutely.
If we had the Geiger counter for madness, definitely.
Well, the great thing is
off the charts.
Yeah, but I looped people into it. Just like, I make...
That's great. Yeah, that's wonderful.
It feels much better to do this.
So insane and manipulative. That's just great.
Yeah. Tune in next week when Chris will play live on air. He'll put a Blu-ray in his Xbox.
Listen, we're strapped for time filling, but come on now.
It's going to be 42 minutes of this. Literally 42 minutes of Chris going to his Xbox.
Out each of the 8 discs.
Each of them.
What episode is this? 913? This is where it all went pear-shaped.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's where it went pear-shaped.
I was going to say, that's a little optimistic on my part.
Different pear-shaped era. Anyway, I'm looking forward to my version of the season 9 set coming a week and a bit. I think is when it's arriving here, so that'll be exciting. Hopefully, it arrives before we're heading out on a bit of a road trip. So hopefully, it arrives before then. But and when it does, Chris, I'll be sure to unwrap the plastic.
I can also confirm that looking at the thing, Pertwee does have 6 fingers on his left hand.
Oh my God, does
He's
he
AI.
really?
He's an AI Pertwee.
Does he really? I didn't know that. Oh wow.
Wasn't it this one? Yeah, it looks like he's got 6 fingers here.
Yeah. Did he kill Indigo Montoya's father, or what's the deal? Anyway, hope you enjoyed that, folks. 913 episodes strong. This podcast has been going. We opened things up.
If you enjoyed it, see me after class.
That's the vibe. Yep.
Yeah. Obverse Books, who make those wonderful Black Archive books about where they little mini novelettes, so to speak, of individual Doctor Who stories. They're very, very good. I have a few of them and I've read them. They're good. They published a schedule for the rest of the year and into 2024 a little bit. Issue 66 will be The Greatest Show in the Galaxy in August. October sees The Edge of Destruction by Simon Guerrier. He what's writing that book about David Whittaker, coming out around the same time. Edge of Destruction, written by David Whittaker, so that seems a natural fit. Happiness Patrol by Mike Stack come in December 2023. February sees Ascension of the Cybermen, The Timeless Children by Ryan Bradley, interesting. And Frontios and the Aztecs coming out in April and June, respectively. So links in the show notes to the Instagram post that announced those. But Obverse Books, very good stuff that have been put out from for those, the Black. That's been going on for quite a while now, the Black Archive.
I believe so. Yeah.
Years and years.
Still feels like new to me, but not really. We tested this out, and it actually works in Canada as well. But Doctor Who Am I, the wonderful film by Matthew Jacobs and Vanessa Ewell, is available. You can buy it on Blu-ray and in the UK, I think, and it's on iTunes in North America. But it's now also available for free with ads on Tubi, and it is available in Canada. We thought it was going to be US only, but we tried it out right before recording. And it worked for us. Is that right? We could play it?
Like, it worked for me.
Worked for me, yeah.
Okay, because we're not on some VPN or something like that. Okay, so.
Yeah, no, I mean, I initially tried it with the US VPN exit point and played fine the other day when I first heard about it. But yeah, no, trying it this morning, it played back just fine.
Maybe it's their Canada gift to us. For this one day, this is available in your region.
Yeah, by the time this podcast comes out, it says, oh, that was your Canada Day treat.
Not available. There you go. All right, well, okay.
We might have shot the TV movie on which this is stemmed from in Canada, but that's all you get. That's all you get.
Mere blocks from where I'm sitting now.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, links in the show notes if you want to watch that on your own. A trilogy of Big Finish stuff to get through. Six Doctor Adventures Purity Unbound is coming out August of 2023. Doctor Who Once and Future 2's Company comes out next month in August. And then Box of Terrors audio novel coming out November 2023 with the fourth and third Doctors. Sarah Jane Smith and Omega are in that one. That one's written by Lizzie Hopling as an audio book, narrated by the multi-talented John Colshaw. So that's coming out in November, just in time for the 60th anniversary of Doctor Who, which is in just over 5 months' time.
I used to say I liked Omega's Arc of Infinity outfit better than this one, but I've taken it back because this mask makes him look perpetually annoyed, and I enjoy that.
His mask reminds me of Darth Vader's castle. A
little bit, yeah.
You know what? And Omega came like 50 years before that, so Star Wars has ripped off Doctor Who. I feel like John Friedlander.
Some planet I can't remember the name of. Mustafar, that's where it is.
Mustafar, yeah. Yeah, he said, you know what? I died here. I'm going to make my home here. That's basically what. Darth
that doesn't
Vader
make a lot of sense. That might be a sign, Darth or Anakin, I should say.
Yeah, that maybe you're working through some issues maybe right now. We talked about a while ago about this Doctor Who crossover into Fortnite, which was like. It was like looking, it was like it was imminent. But then it's sort of like, oh, that's not happening at all anymore. It's been delayed apparently until December this year or early 2024 because Epic apparently is prioritizing a Lego collaboration. No, I will not be participating.
Right, well, fair enough.
It makes sense though, given that there's no new Doctor Who until November, and that's when there's like a new Doctor Who to be there to cross over with.
Yeah,
so
that does make sense.
Yeah, it just makes a lot more sense. So Warren, I look forward to you firing up Fortnite for 12 minutes.
I will not.
For 12 minutes to test it out, and I
find that game incredibly frustrating. And I've played Elden Ring, which is legit frustrating. And there's actual rewards to it. Fortnite, I'm just like, what is this crap for young people? I don't care. I'm out.
Yeah, I'm not a Fortnite.
Please, and to be fair, the youngs. I'm sure there's reasons to enjoy this. Don't tell me what they are. Just please do enjoy them.
Just
I'm not trying to take that away from you. I just don't enjoy it.
No, have fun. If this is your, if Fortnite was your first entry into Doctor Who, you probably wouldn't be listening to this podcast right now. But you know what? I am all for getting people into Doctor Who through whatever means is necessary. And
yeah,
so
I mean, I don't like Fortnite, but it's not a tape dispenser with C-3PO in a compromising position. I'll tell you that.
1997. Yeah. Chris, you're not a Fortnite player, are you?
I've never looked at it.
No. Oh.
All I know about Fortnite is the flossing.
Oh, right. That was a thing. Like
I keep forgetting about that. I just go in, I have to build a cabin. Why? And then I get shot, and that's pretty much it.
I just remember I parachuted in for it seemed like 12 and a half minutes, and then I landed and I was immediately killed. And
game, I have more than 130 million GTA dollars. I am much too important for this sort of thing.
Right, I know, but I'm not into the battle royale because it usually means that I'm worse than other people. And if I like kill them, I feel like, man, I probably just slaughtered like some 12-year-old who just started this, and now he's like, oh, man.
I have pretend drug businesses to run.
Grand Theft Auto.
But we're also probably slaughtering 12-year-olds, let's be honest.
That's true. That is actually very true. Video games. Anyway. Video games, everybody. I saw Doctor Who tweet about there's a new thing coming to Doctor Who Hidden Mysteries, by the way, the Apple Arcade game, like a new storyline. But it wasn't on there yet. I opened it up and it was not there. I know you finished that game like in record fashion, Chris. I don't think you've picked it up since then, have you?
Wouldn't say record fashion. I've loaded it once or twice just to see if there's new stuff, and there hasn't been. So I haven't deleted it off my phone or anything yet, but I was definitely on the cusp.
Yeah, no, I'm just firing it up right now, and I claim my little daily bonus, and it's one of those things. It looks like a razor, and no, it's just a board game thing right now. So it's one of those little absent-minded things that I just sort of play when I'm not too busy and stuff. So I haven't actually progressed the storyline much, but I can confirm that as of right this second on July 1st, there's not any brand new content in there, but I'm still working through the original content, so that's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. All right, kids.
I haven't touched it.
That's all right. That's all right, Warren. You don't have to touch everything with regards to Doctor Who, unless, of course, it's a season 9 box set and you want to take the wrapping off, and that's when you will remove it. Let's go. Let's do it, folks. This is it. The Timelash. Until we get bored and bring it back, because we forgot what we said about things that happened. I mean, once in a couple years' time, more things will have happened in history, and we can talk about those again. So, we're giving it a pause. We're giving it a rest. We're like Peter Cugine, the end of season 26. We're just going to put it at rest and see how long it takes for it to bring back. It might be 7 years, might be 3. Who knows? Anyway.
I think it's going to Blackpool.
It's going to Blackpool.
Which to this day still baffles me. I don't know what the hell it means, and I kind of don't want to know at this point.
No. Blackpool's like British Las Vegas, basically,
Yeah.
Gotcha.
As Las Vegas as Britain can get, yes.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, July 2nd we start with Chris's favorite Dalek story of all time, Death of the Daleks, being commissioned by Terry Nation, This Day in History. Is it still your favorite Dalek story of all time? Does that still stand? Or
never has been.
Oh.
What is your favorite?
Remembrance.
Oh. Whoa. Okay. Is it your favorite Pertwee Dalek story?
Favorite Pertwee Dalek story.
There we go. Okay.
Gotcha.
I thought it was something like that, but anyway.
I think I'm a Genesis man still.
I over the years, I've Graham Burke is famous for being I'm not going to say Genesis hater, but Genesis criticizer.
Well, he's famous for being wrong then, so.
My opinion over the years has definitely migrated towards his.
Oh, really? No. If anything,
disagree.
I've been more contrarian towards Graham in all facts of life, and and I feel like I've steered more to Genesis.
So much so you've given up your Canadian citizenship.
No, yep. But I forced him to renege his.
Okay. I don't think that's possible. I know I'm a patriotic Canadian, but Graham is a step beyond me in terms of Canadian patriotism, especially when it comes to TV. He knows a ton about Canadian television.
Well, because he grew up in Ontario, you see, where, all of like TV Ontario, where they had Doctor Who, for instance, and, I don't know, the CBC always felt like an Ontario thing, and that's why we want to defund them here in the way we don't.
God, please stop talking about
Graham is very Canadian. We're recording this in Canada, so we have to include some Canadian content, you understand. But Graham's
So let's heap some praise on him. He's a Canadian Doctor Who luminary.
I like Graham. Mm-hmm. I like Graham, which is why I can put him
wrong
down.
About Genesis.
He is wrong about Genesis the Daleks. That is very true. And about several other things, but likes the Maple Leaf. He likes the Maple Leafs of the 1970s, early 80s, which,
Well, so does the entirety of Toronto. It's okay. Here's an example. I still will cheer for Edmonton, even though I don't particularly like the city that I left.
Yeah.
And I have disdain for the Toronto Maple Leafs, even though I couldn't care less about hockey. So imagine somebody who enjoys hockey who grew up in Toronto.
Yeah.
You can't not have that end result.
Well, I feel bad because Graham grew up when the Leafs were at their absolute worst, which is my favorite era of the Leafs. Ironically,
I'm just going to assume he's a Boreas Salmon fan.
He was a Boreas Salmon, probably a Mike Palmatier fan in net. I bet you love like Dan Dawu and Bill Derlego and all those.
No idea what you're talking about.
I know. Oh, lap it up there.
There's a guy called Building Lego. This explains so much about you.
I had hockey cards of this guy, and I never put two and two together that his name was Bill Derlego, until like literally a year ago.
I really hope that he is a master builder of some sort, secretly, in his retirement years.
No, maybe he is, but anyway, as you can tell, not a lot happened on July 2nd.
No,
he was the inspiration for Unikitty in the Lego movie.
Easily, yeah, he was the Unikitty inspired by Bill Derlego. 45 points for the Leafs in 1980-81. I don't know how many he got, but anyway, Bill Derlego of the Leafs had nothing to do with July 2nd in the history of Doctor Who. So we move on to July the 3rd. How about...
Before we step away from July 2nd, just mention the death of Don Houghton, writer of Inferno and Mind of Evil.
Two
stories that I think we all love. Warren?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well, Inferno, obviously, yes. But
yeah. Mind of Evil is classic Doctor Who.
I enjoy Mind of Evil. I don't think I love it as much as you guys, but I still like it.
Yeah. It was there was a huge battle in it, and so when I started watching Doctor Who, I was in it for the gun battles, and so like when there's this big, huge, massive battle in a castle, and people are falling off walls, like yeah.
Not to mention, Warren, I'm sure you can get behind during the gun battle, all the, like, what are they called? The artifacting, the fuzziness of the tube cameras.
Oh, yeah. The vibration on the tube cameras. I love it.
Yep. Great. You don't see that anymore. Maybe we will again once all these TV shows become too expensive to produce and they just say, well, let's just make them on tube cameras now.
No. Do you have any idea how difficult those things are to source out? Like, because I just, on a bored Sunday once, I'm like, I wonder how tough it would be to buy a British TV camera of the era. Oh, it's almost impossible. It's just, you cannot find them.
No, you can't. Analog camera. Go on, Chris.
Like high-end, like record player producers doing vacuum tubes and all this retro stuff now, so why not cameras?
Yeah, why not cameras? You know, one thing you can't do on cameras, on digital cameras, is, and I know this because I rented or borrowed a VHS camera back in the day, and thankfully I still have the videotapes of this, but I would turn it on the monitor and basically create the Doctor Who title sequence, and you can't do that. It's impossible to do on a digital camera. It can only happen on analog.
This is just like what you said, aging myself, but when I was taking broadcast production in the 90s, we had a tube camera with the VTR part of it on like a strap that you held next to you, like as you went out and shot. It was like 3/4 inch. So but it was a tube camera. So like, don't shoot at lights because you get the streaks. So what's the first thing I do? Shoot at those lights to get the Doctor Who streaks. Yeah.
Right. On my YouTube channel, there is video footage of all the, like, there's some artistic stuff. I'm pretty proud of it, actually, from like 1996 I made with just a camera pointing at it. Turn the volume down because the audio feedback happens as well, but you just don't hear it.
It's awful. Yeah.
It's just like a microphone squeal. But the video feedback was just amazing. God, it was fun. I would almost buy an analog camera and an analog screen again just to make that stuff again, because it was you could really make some artistic stuff out of it.
I have analog cameras, and a friend of mine has an analog TV.
Time to hit up some pawn shops or something. Maybe they have some
stock. Maybe they do. I don't know. I've actually been wanting to replace my VHS player because my old one's kind of like a little bit rickety, and man, you cannot find VHS players anywhere. It's tough. So,
these are not even first world problems. What are those? Like last century problems.
Yeah, is what they are. Definitely 20th century problems. All right, on to July the 3rd, birth of Philip Martin, who of course sadly died a couple years ago. Writer of Vengeance on Varos and Mind Warp and Gangsters and some episodes of Star Cops, and a lovely fellow who I got to talk to at Gallifrey 1 before the world shut down. What else happened July 3rd you want to mention? Anything going on for July 3rd?
A lot of good recordings. Stones of Blood, Carnival of Monsters. That's actually it, really. So never mind.
Destiny the Daleks.
Face the Raven. Heaven Sent. Okay, these are also good.
Right?
Twice Upon a Time. All good.
Yeah.
1970, Katie Manning is contracted to play new companion Joe Grant in at least 28 episodes of season 8.
At least 20 episodes. At least 20.
Sorry.
That's right.
At least 20, sorry.
That's right.
I misread.
That's okay. It would be funny if it was at least 28 episodes because there are only 25 episodes in season 8. I like that it was at least 20 episodes. So, like, that's intriguing because at the time they might be thinking, oh, maybe she wouldn't be in every episode. Or maybe we just haven't drawn up the contract for the last 5. I don't know. Which is probably what it was. Also, Anthony Coburn is commissioned to write both 100,000 BC, first story, and the Masters of Luxor, both on the same day, commissioned to write them. One he actually did, and the other one he didn't. So, but it still exists and it's in script form. It came out as a book many, many years ago. But Anthony Coburn. What else happened? Oh, 2005. The BBC, July 3rd, the BBC announces that the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation will continue to co-produce Doctor Who for Series 2. That's
There's our CanCon for the day.
There's our CanCon. I've been working through right now. I just watched 42, by the way, which is underrated. Also underrated. Lazarus Experiment was much better than I thought it was going to be.
I agree.
And Series 3, I forgot, still had the big bold thing at the very end. BBC and with CBC co-producing it, and it sits there for like 20 seconds on the end screen. It's pretty great. So,
Warren, you want to talk about 2007?
Sure, but before I do that, I'm going to mention that, like all things Canadian, we got onto a good thing and then we just gave it up. That's what you usually do.
Yeah.
That's very Canadian. Just like, hey, Kim's Convenience is a huge deal, and so is Schitt's Creek. Should we make more of this? Nah. Why would we do anything like that again? Let's make some horse shows about horses.
Well,
like 3 of those.
Yeah.
If you believe all the behind the scenes stuff for Kim's Convenience,
I know.
Like,
I know.
sounds like it was overdue to be stopped.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, like, why aren't sitcoms with an interesting, diverse point of view seem to be a hit? So what do? We make a bunch of shows about white people with a ranch. There's at least 2 or 3 of them.
But
That's
also,
Canada for you.
At least they don't like just run it into the ground. At least there's a we're going to stop
right.
it.
Fair enough. Yeah, but we don't run it into the ground because we don't bother to. That's what it boils down to.
Right.
Anyway, 2007, the BBC announced that Catherine Tate will return to the role of Donna Noble in season 30. Excellent stuff.
No,
my favorite
not at the time.
still.
Not at the time. It was a Warren. You have to.
Okay, yeah, but
don't erase history here.
Now. Oh, sure. Because all I had to go off was Runaway Bride, so I was like, it's just going to be just this, and it turned out it wasn't that. So I'm happy to admit I was wrong.
Oh yeah, you and a lot of other people.
In fact.
Yeah, you and a lot of other people were like completely turned around on that.
But I was doing the typical Doctor Who thing. Well, I've only got 50 minutes to base this on, so I better make it my worldview.
I'm amazed that happened the same day that, by the way, Kylie Minogue's going to be in Voyage of the Damned. So they must have done a big thing about, hey, guess what, here's what's happening. Because that must have been, right after, the broadcast of Sound of Drums or something like that, or close to.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and, or at last the Time Lords. And so they said, here's what's happening. Donna Noble's going to be there for next season, but this Christmas, Kylie Minogue in the most watched episode on first broadcast of Doctor Who ever. Pretty much.
The very always hetero and never woke Doctor Who with Kylie Minogue. I'm not sure what straw man I'm aiming at here.
I have no idea, actually. Yeah, who you firing?
These guys get trotted out. They might be made up, actually, by people for someone to make fun of.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
Or not. There could be idiots out there who actually think, like, if Twitter's taught me anything, is that there's people with insane views that require mental gymnastics, the likes of which you've never seen. Mm-hmm. So it's entirely likely that people do think these things.
That's true. Anything else you want to mention from July 3rd, either of you?
Nope.
Nah, I'm good.
Okay, off we go. July 4th.
Not much to mention on July 4th, but birth of Patty Russell.
Patty Russell.
Fantastic director.
I agree.
Very good. First woman director on Doctor Who. For The Massacre, way back when. Also did Invasion of the Dinosaurs, Pyramids, and Horror of Fang Rock.
Yeah, and the puppets aren't her fault.
No.
But you know what's cool? All that early morning London stuff that she guerrillaed with her and a camera guy. Like, that's pretty rad.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, in the early morning stuff. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, they didn't get permits. They just went out and did it. I'm like, like at 5 a.m. or something.
Right, yeah, on a Sunday. God, I love the 70s. You could do that. You could get away with that sort of stuff, yeah. Just like William Friedkin. I know, was it, who, why am I blanking on this? Was it Friedkin who directed French Connection?
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yeah, who didn't get permits for that either, and they just drove around.
I don't know. I saw a warning on Disney, and I decided I shouldn't watch it because I'm a fragile boy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they say some rude language in 1971, and we want to make you forget that we ever said those words.
Well, actually, they don't because they took it out, so they don't use that rude language.
That's true, actually. Yeah. So it never happened. Never happened.
You're only allowed to watch To Live and Die in L.A.
Yes, the much more calm and not at all crazy Live and Die in L.A.
It's a theme song from Wang Chung. That's all I know about it. That's all I know about that movie.
Well, I just know William Friedkin, which is I assume.
Oh, he's in that. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, he's not in it. He directed it.
Right. Hey, for the first time ever, Doctor Who was preempted because Summer Grandstand. What is that? Horse racing.
I was going to say, this could be right in your wheelhouse. It's like, schedules.
It was kind of fun because it was going to be, I don't know, sort of the Sensorites or something like that. And it was delayed a week, which probably thrilled people on Doctor thinking, oh, God, we bought some time.
You got it in there. You got it in there. You got a Sensorites membership.
Yeah.
Mention in
every week. We got to mention the Sensorites.
If there is a Sensorite fan club, you are definitely its president.
Right. Well, I mean, Twitter was lit up that day. They're like, what do you mean Summer Grandstand's going long? We want to watch part 4 of the Sensorites. Idiots.
Nobody said that ever.
Grandstand apparently is a sport program.
Sport.
Once again, the jocks are pushing us nerds in the closet.
Yeah.
Only lasted 50 years. So, I mean, most people I'm sure haven't heard of it.
Yeah. Only 50 years. What? It's not.
But the Sensorites on a show that just came out like a year or two ago. That's a big deal,
right? Yeah, preempted. God, crushing blow. That would have helped. Like, I bet you people when they were making Doctor Who, like when they're literally making it 6 days out from broadcasting, and what Grandstand can't go long this week? Come on, buy us some time here. Jeez, we're practically making the show live. Anyway, a whole bunch of recordings happened July 4th. They make Doctor Who in July. They don't air it in July. This is how things work. But all throughout, like Warriors of the Deep, which I'm currently watching the Twitter feed, Doctor Who 1983, cover that. Basically the end of Doctor Who because it's not going too well, having to start 2 weeks earlier than they thought. So, yeah, a whole bunch of stuff made this week in history. As we move on to July the 5th, 1965, Dennis Spooner is commissioned to write 6 episodes of Terry Nation's 4th Dalek story, The Daleks' Master Plan. This one, of course, started out as a 6-part story, but then some higher up at the BBC said, you know what I want to say? Daleks. That was what he actually sounded like.
Yes, somebody with that exact accent. Some Brooklyn, I don't know, plumber. Mario, perhaps.
Yeah, Mario. I want to see Daleks. Can you make a 12-part episode with Daleks in it?
That sounds better than Chris Pratt. I assume I haven't seen the movie.
That was sad. I was right. I've come up with a really great voice for this. It's just Chris Pratt. And so Dennis Spooner was called in to fill out the 12-part story that Terry Nation had no interest in writing. And honestly, when you watch recons of the Daleks Master Plan, it's the Terry Nation episodes that are probably better because then it's like weird running around cricket stuff, and the monk shows up for a couple episodes, and it's just it's kind of running on fumes a little bit, the Daleks Master Plan in the latter half of it. But the first half of it is great, and that's the Terry Nation bit, which is interesting. So. Anything else? July the 5th you wanna bring up, mention, SmackDown?
1968, Malcolm Hulke commissioned to write a storyline for The Impersonators, which was apparently meant to be the penultimate Troughton story, and the original serial ZZ.
Oh, wow.
But then things happened, and what was supposed to be the 4-part Troughton finale and The Impersonators, things didn't go well, so we got the War Games.
That's right. Still got work. Malcolm Hulke still got work out of it. Mm-hmm. And more work, really.
And obviously, I have no idea what the other ones would have been like. So the Laird of the McCrimmon and whatnot. But I'm pretty happy with War Games.
Yeah. Yeah, in the long run.
Speaking of like long-ass stories. Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, they never start out to be... it should be 10 parts. They never went out to set out to be a 10-part story, but Time had to be filled. Happy birthday.
Also,
yep.
Yeah, it was Toby Whithouse, born in 1970.
Happy birthday, Toby Whithouse.
But, there's also like a massive amount of like announcements on this day as well.
Mm-hmm. Like what, Chris? Please inform us.
Bryant announced as Perry. A character outline for Mel Bush is distributed. Character outline for the Inquisitor. Character outline for the Valeyard. BBC announces that Freema Agyeman has been cast as Martha Jones.
Wow. This is all in the same day in history, not in the same day in the same year, just so you know. But
no, it's all the same.
Same year. They were like, you know what?
In 83.
In 83, it's like she hasn't even been born yet, but Freema Agyeman will be in Doctor Who. Just wait for it.
What I like about this character outline is I imagine it's just one sheet, because these are pretty thin characters. We're going to find out more about Melanie Bush, I think, in this one episode with Shooty than we ever have before.
I think you're right.
That's not to say we'll find out a lot. We'll just find out something.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Yeah. I wonder if she's still going to be a computer programmer.
I hope so. I hope she's got her own computer company.
That's true.
I mean, there is some sort of a background. Is there some canon that I don't know about? There probably is.
I'm sure Big Finish has filled it in. Including your last name, but yeah. Also, the debut broadcast of Journey's End, July 5th, 2008. Number 1 in the ratings that week. Was that the first time Doctor Who at number 1? I think it was. Ever. Like, ever. Because it only got up to number 5.
10.6 million. Stolen Earth came in second. 8.8 million and 10.6 million for Journey's End coming in first.
Journey's End.
91%, right, 91% 91 AI on that one too.
Yep.
Here's my question.
All right.
Is that a better or worse fizzle out than Trial of a Time Lord? Because it is a fizzle out from Stolen Earth. Sure.
Is it though? I mean, 91 appreciation index.
I don't care what the appreciation index. I think it just kind of goes to hell, frankly.
Right.
Like, it just kind of, all right, okay. The ending's good because those Cybermen don't show up, even though they were planned to.
That's true.
Just having Tennant sitting there was great, but it just, there's a lot of loose threads that get tied up in unsatisfactory fashion as far as I'm concerned.
Well, that happens more in the End of Time now that I think about it. And, you know, like...
all three of those are...
Yeah, Mickey and Martha are together, I guess, just because, it's easy to pair the two black characters together, I guess.
Yeah, that seemed a little lazy and a touch racist.
A little bit. Yeah, Journey's End. That the episode, the reaction to which launched Chip Suther's 2-minute Time Lord.
Was he defending it? Because Chip tends to defend these things.
He was defending it.
Because
I don't hate it. It's got its moments.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we bashed it back in the day, and Chip's reaction was to start 2-minute Time Lord.
Oh well.
Yeah.
Good. From our evil came his good.
It was. I think there was a lot of Shaggy dog madness, and then just the ending just seemed all of a sudden just went silly. And then they tried to recreate the beach scene, and it's just like all the dialogue was overdubbed, and it was just like, don't do this, don't go back to the well. You left it once, it was great, and then we went back, and it was not great. And that's just that's a metaphor for everything when it comes to remaking things and doing sequels of things. Sometimes
I think original, this might be the wellspring of my 14th, not resignation, reluctance.
Oh yeah, just going back to the well again. I know,
because it feels like it might be that. I could be very much wrong after 10 odd years, but or more. But it does feel, that was my initial reaction, which probably says more about me as a fan than anything else, honestly.
Could be it. I think we've all grown since 2008
and given up. All right, fine, more of the same. You got me.
Yeah. I mean, if I had the gumption to listen to what we said about it back in...
Well, I sure don't.
Odd 8, it would be... No, I don't think I want to hear it. I just without even knowing what we said, I'm pretty sure I was probably the most positive about it, though, just by default.
Oh, I guarantee you were.
Yeah.
The only time you have... This is why it's so notable when you're not, because like something like The End of Time where you're just... vociferous in your hatred. It's just very notable because you will go to any lengths to defend if you can, and you just couldn't. I
was just so let down by The End of Time Part 1. It just like that. Even The End of Time Part 2, I was thinking, you know what, this wasn't as bad, and so therefore it's okay in my books. But really, looking back at it, no, nothing could save it after that first one, though. Oh God, Chris's 2009, just the worst, just the absolute worst.
I don't know. November 2016 kind of sucks for different reasons, but oh well.
Very true. Shall we move on? Do you want to move on to July 6th? Anything else?
Sure.
No?
Why
okay,
not?
Here we go. As the days get a little more dwindling here. Oh, what a tragic day. Not the Derek Goodwin was born in 1935, director of The Invisible Enemy, but Malcolm Hulke died July 6, 1979. He's like 49 or 50 or something, like tragically young.
Damn you, death.
54.
54 years old. That's nothing. As we mentioned this past, last time, like just this weird spate of Doctor Who writer deaths in the late 1970s, just as conventions were becoming to be a thing, you know? Like,
I got out of it. Thank God.
Yeah, that's true. Just
don't have to go to conventions.
Conventions? Nope. Not for this cowboy. And off goes Malcolm Hulke. Yeah. Would it be great to hear like a panel?
Sorry everyone.
It's just like, here, can you imagine? I mean, if some of these writers hadn't died so young, like here's a like at Panopticon 1985, here's a convention panel with David Whittaker, Malcolm Hulke, and Brian Hales, and they all just trot out and it says, yeah, we wrote some of the greatest Doctor Who, except for you, Brian Hales, and they would, because he never wrote any of it. It all got rewritten by Terrence Dix, and they would have a big, great panel, and we would have information, but instead we, so little is known about these people that we have to do deep dives in books and scour archives to find anything about them.
That's as it should be.
Until they make the VAM about them. Yeah.
I know. Also, Simon Gary wouldn't have a book coming out if David Whittaker lived another 10 years because we know everything about him. It says, well, I don't need to write anything about this guy now. Yeah. So there. Yeah.
July 7th.
July 7th, everyone.
No. Before you do that, I want to highlight 2 days of disaster in July 6th. Recording for Warriors of the Deep in 1983, and recording for Attack of the Cybermen in 1984. I don't know what behind the scenes Attack of the Cybermen was like, but these two episodes being recorded on the same day, I wonder if when they're doing Attack of the Cybermen, they're like, I got a bad feeling somehow. What happened a year ago today?
They recorded in the Visual Effects Workshop.
I know. I'm smushing this for my own benefit here.
I know. There's some good VFX in Warriors of the Deep. Model shots, maybe? I don't know.
There are, yeah. And I actually enjoy, even though I admit I can see why people dislike both these. Yeah. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know why we love Attack of the Cybermen so much. That is we're gonna have
fun.
Is it though? Is it really fun? I don't even know if it's fun.
Kind of fun.
I don't know if it's fun.
I haven't watched it in a long time because I don't want to ruin it. Like I already ruined.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well. I don't know. I watched it recently, and I like it, but it's like, is this fun? Am I having fun watching this? I don't know. Lytton gets his hand squeezed, and like it's.
Yeah, okay, that is a bit much, but it's also got Lytton. I don't care if anything is crap. If it's got Lytton, it's automatically.
Yeah, he is great. Maurice Colburn is great, and Brian Griffiths. A bit rough, is it? And
that's all
Terry
fantastic.
Malloy.
Terry Malloy's in it. The other guy, Doctor Who beating up policemen.
Got the return of the Cyber Controller.
That's true. Everyone loves that. That's fun.
Yes.
Everyone loves if you can't watch Michael Gagarin and have a laugh, then I don't know what's wrong with you. That's what I say about him. Let's move on. July 7th,
yes,
the birthday of John Pertwee, Doctor Who number 3. We saw on Twitter.
Tiberius Pertwee.
Yeah, John Devon Roland Pertwee, I think is his full name. I'm doing that from the top of my head.
Fancy boy.
Esquire. He was conceived on Armistice Day, by the way. 1918. I saw a Twitter thread recently that was it All the Right Movies is what it is. It's a pretty good Twitter feed. They have some like a big threads about the making of some movies, and they made one about Last Crusade. And apparently Steven Spielberg wanted Sean Connery, but if he didn't get him, he was going to choose someone else or John Pertwee to play Harrison,
that would have ruled.
Indy's father in Last Crusade, which is astounding for many reasons, but the most one is like, remember when in 3 or 4 years' time when Spielberg was connected to Doctor Who, quite clearly the Doctor Who connection was there if he's thinking John Pertwee, because
he cast Michael Sheard as Hitler, so
yeah, but that was like Michael Sheard's like 6th appearance as Hitler. Like he's played Hitler more than he's played himself because he looks like.
Now, on the other hand, because he didn't do that, we were spared sites like We Got This Covered going, did you know that Dr. Jones was in Doctor Who?
Yeah.
Here's 16 paragraphs about it to fill time.
It's
Dr. Jones, Doctor Who.
It's what's interesting though is that like Spielberg would, because obviously I've actually dipped into the list there. Obviously Connery is at the time was a bigger box office draw.
Oh, obviously, yeah.
But
that's coming off the Untouchables for Kermit.
Yeah, right.
And also, he was really good as Henry Jones Sr.
He was great, but for Spielberg to think, you know what, I'm gonna, no offense to John Pertwee, but he wasn't as obviously well known as Sean Connery to a worldwide audience, especially an American audience. So for him to actually consider John Pertwee as that actor says a lot about Spielberg and how much he liked Doctor Who deep down without telling anyone about it.
And then obviously we found out during the 90s how much of a fan he was.
Exactly. So interesting indeed. Anyway, John Pertwee, born July 7th, 1919. Just to give you an indication of how old Doctor Who is, because that's over 100 years ago, folks. Mm-hmm. Yep. What else happened?
2011, we lost Beth Willis, stepping down as the executive producer of Doctor Who.
Still alive, but
I just have an image of boots with a flower in them.
Yeah, she wore boots on a panel once, and we still are thinking about it now. Piers Wanger was next to her, but we don't think about Piers Wanger. We just think of the boots that Beth Willis wore those days.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which probably says more about us than it does about them.
Probably.
Yep.
Probably indeed. All right. This is a
moving on. July 8th.
The last day.
Wrap it up.
The last day of the Timelash, everyone. The recording of The Smugglers took place at Riverside Studio in Hammersmith, London. That's what happened on July 8th, 1966.
Nothing says a pirate story like Hammersmith Studios.
Nope.
That's
in
true.
fact, just because it's the last one, we're going to literally read through every one of these. Recording 1967. Recording for Tomb of the Cybermen takes place at Lime Grove Studio D. That's what happened then. I don't remember which episode that was, but they were still recording at Lime Grove. So that was pretty cool because I like Tomb of the Cybermen. 1968, Derek Sherwin is retroactively granted permission for a staff contribution to write The Invasion, because that was probably another episode that replaced something that fell through because the season 6 was a boondoggle of canceled scripts and stories and everything else. So,
as alluded to earlier, yeah.
And this next one looks like a bit of a boondoggle too. So,
what happened, Warren?
1974, Louis Griefer, which is a great name, is commissioned to provide a storyline for Pyramids of Mars, which I'm pretty sure didn't happen.
No, it got completely. Well, it did. It got written, and then Robert Holmes said, "Let's rewrite it." And it went out to Stephen Harris.
That's one of my favorites of all time.
It is one of your favorites of all time. Yeah. Louis Griefer also wrote an episode or two of The Prisoner, I think.
Cool.
Yeah. So he was an actual person, unlike Stephen Thompson. He actually did write things.
It does sound like a made-up name. It sounds like the name you'd have if you're playing an online video game.
Right? It kind of does, doesn't it? 1984, July 8th, more recording for Attack of the Cybermen at the BBC TV Centre, with Cryons, probably. That happened. We jump all the way to July 8th, 2006, for the debut broadcast of Army of Ghosts. This is the story of how I die, said Rose Tyler at the very beginning of it.
All of England unites over the agreement that that's a terrible Ghostbusters joke.
That's right. That was the That was this one.
In Army of Ghosts.
It was an Army of Ghosts.
Yeah, it was this one, yeah.
I know, because I watched it last week, yeah.
And it's an otherwise great episode, but that one flaw in the Persian rug is one big-ass flaw.
Yeah.
I still cringe at the flirting between, what's the name of Martha's cousin?
Adiola?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a bit cringy, too. You're right. Not as bad as the Ghostbusters thing, but yeah. But other than that, there's a lot of fun stuff in it. And that climax is pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool. Dallas coming out of a big ball. Yeah. That same day,
nothing beats Dalek balls.
As that went out, little did people know that they were recording Doctor Who: Runaway Bride in Upper Boat in Wales. That exact same day, you couldn't have watched Doctor Who going out because you'd be working on it if you're working on it. So, 2010, Gareth Roberts is offered the opportunity to write Closing Time, which he took up, obviously. Same day in history. 1 year later, I just watched this recently because we're doing a mini scope on Solmet's Die. That's why I watched it. I go, wait a minute, I'm not up there. I literally just watched this. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. Chris Chibnall is offered the opportunity to write Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. And having watched it, spoiler alert for our mini scope, I liked this episode. It was great. It was a lot of fun. Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. So Well done, Christian.
It's one of those ones that gets better when you jump back into it, because you can just accept the silliness for what it is, as opposed to having it being surrounded by other things where you're like, I want the proper story, blah, blah, blah. No, now you're just like, this is just a thing I'm watching, and it's kind of silly. Okay, fine.
Yep. Yeah, you have a bit of fun. Watching Doctor Who. What's wrong with that? That's what I say. Chris, you like Dinosaurs on a Spaceship? Like that one?
I am mixed.
Oh.
Okay. I remember looking forward to Mitchell and Webb being in it, and then finding...
That's the worst part of it. Yeah.
Incredibly annoying.
Actually, the worst part, yeah. Actual comedians in Doctor Who are actually the least funny things. Like Bill...
Generally speaking, true.
Bill Bailey and Dr. Woodward.
Yeah, completely wasted. And he's really funny, generally.
And
that's why Matt Berry shouldn't be in Doctor Who, because they'll just waste him.
That's a good point,
And Bill Bailey is, about as big of a Doctor Who fan as they come, so...
Yeah. That's right, and he wasn't given the funny stuff. He wasn't given the funny stuff in.
No, it was poor writing.
Yeah, poor writing. 2014.
Off poor writing.
Take him down a peg. Speaking of off, 2014 recording for Dark Water, Death in Heaven took place in Rothlock, directed by Rachel Talalay.
Hell yeah.
First time on Doctor Who. Not her last, that's for damn sure. And finally, the final thing of the Timelash, kids, for 3 months until it comes back when we have nothing else to talk about. Recording of Smile. That's it. That's our last one. Recording for Smile takes place in Flemingston, Wales, which probably was the location somewhere where they shot. That was not Spain, where they shot some of the stuff there. It was in Wales. Spain to Wales. How about that? What a fitting end to the Timelash, kids. As we wrap it up for a while. We put
it up with a big emoji pot.
That's true. A big indifferent face emoji. So there we go, kids. That is it. We'll try to cobble an episode together for next week. See if something happens. See if something is announced for San Diego Comic-Con that is worth talking about. If not, I'm sure we'll put something together that'll be fun and entertaining as we kick off the summer of fun that will be Radio Free Skaro in July.
That's appropriation.
Yep.
I think for sure we'll be able to say no audio unboxings either.
Probably
I guarantee it.
Probably not. All plastic has been unwrapped, so
I can do a DVD scattering if you'd like.
Sure, yeah, we could do that. We'll find.
No, I'm not doing that.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's fine. Don't tease then. It'll be on our YouTube page. So until next time, everyone. I am Stephen in Edmonton.
Warren in Vancouver.
And Chris in Edmonton.
So long for now.
You've been listening to Radio Free Skaro. Find us online at radiofreeskaro.com. Follow us on Twitter and Tumblr at Radio Free Skaro. Subscribe to us on iTunes and donate to the show at patreon.com/Radio Free Skaro. Thank you.